So I've been getting a lot of people asking me about this new ThinkPad Retro, and I haven't had really high hopes for it. My fear was that the ThinkPad Retro would wind up being one of those machines where rather than seeing it as a fix to a flaw in user interface, that Lenovo would instead see this as kind of a trend. You know, we have these people that want the old design back. They must only like things that are old. So let's kind of throw them a bone. Let's throw them a bone and give them something that's old so they shut up. And that's rather than actually seeing it as we really screwed up on this new design. We took something that made our machine unique in the market and butchered it. Let's undo that. Let's control Z that bad design. So let's see if they've changed anything. And I've talked about this in one of my older blogs. I think I did a blog on this a while ago on the old ThinkPad. Let's see if I can find that here before we move on, just so I have a link that I can show you. So yeah, so I had talked about this a while ago about the new ThinkPad terrible one-button trackpad and keyboard layout. So they had made let's see if I can get a picture of this for you. T440 trackpad. So they essentially did what they screwed up with the BlackBerry Storm, where the trackpad is one button, which was awful. And they changed the keyboard layout. So if you look at something like, let's say, the ThinkPad T520 keyboard, you'll see that it has a layout very similar to a desktop computer, but it's also just very naturally intuitive. Let's see if I can get a better picture than that one. So if I were to click over here, yeah, any of these high resolution? Yeah, so this is a very sexy layout. So the reason that I love this layout is the delete key, page up, page down, all that's very similar to where you'd find it on a desktop. The keyboard feels like a standard desktop keyboard in a lot of ways, and since you have the track point over here with the track point buttons, I never have to move my hand away from the keyboard in order to use the mouse, which makes me infinitely more productive. Now, what they've done with some of the new ones, I'm not really a fan of. So even though they fixed the trackpad in the recent editions, they still have this messed up keyboard layout like on the Lenovo P50, which is a machine I reviewed a few months ago. So you'll see on the P50, if I can find a high-res image here, you'll see that these keys up here, home, end, insert, delete, this is not how it is in a desktop. It's much more confusing for no real reason. And the second thing that they've done is they've put the keyboard, they've put a numpad here. So this is annoying because, as you can see on the top case, the keyboard and the trackpad and the track point are off center. Since they're off center, it is weirder to use it in your lap. You either have to lean the machine off to the right if you want the keyboard to be center, which makes it feel like it's going to fall off your lap, or you have to lean to the left to use your keyboard, and I don't feel like leaning to the left. So let's go over the new ThinkPad and let's see what they've done. So has Lenovo created a machine that's worth buying, that really lives up to the name that the ThinkPad has had for the 22 years until they destroyed it? So the first thing that I notice here is that it starts at $1,899. Now, you used to be able to get, I remember I bought my T520 back sometime in 2011. I got my T520 for something like $750 on sale. To get a machine that had a proper keyboard, proper track point, proper processor, all that stuff, you did not need to spend in the $1,800 to $1,900 range. So right there starts at $1,899. Now, let's go over some of the specifications here. So the first thing that I noticed is that it comes with an Ultrabook processor. Now, you can get a P50 for about $1,200 that has an i7 6700. I think it's a quad-core. I forget what exactly it's supposed to put at the end for a quad-core processor there because I'm a noob. But let's just see what I could find. All right. Let's see if my internet will let me Google. Will my internet let me do the Googling? Can I go to Google? How about Yahoo? Okay, fine, Yahoo. So you ThinkPad, what was I searching for? Yeah, i7 6700 HQ. Or is that it? So yeah, this is the processor that I was able to get. Actually, I think is that the desktop one or the laptop one? Either way, you can get a processor damn near 2 years ago. That's 8100, gets an 8100 on here. Let me just make sure I got the right one. Lenovo P50, i7 6700. I spelled Lenovo wrong. Yeah, I was right. i7 6700. So about a year and a half ago, you could get a processor that got this score. Let's go back. You could get a processor that got this score. for about $600, $700 less. And keep in mind, that was about a year and a half ago. Now, with this new one that they got here, the $1,900 one that they released at the end of 2017, the processor that you have available to you is a fucking U-class processor. And what you get with the U-class processor, 5,222. Ain't that great? You give me a processor that's just as strong as what I could have gotten 5 fucking years ago for $1,900. And as you can see, this is a dual core. So one of the things that I had really slammed into Apple for a while ago, and I have to be fair and honest here. I do got to be somewhat fair and honest. So if I go and I look up, let's see, MacBook review. Yes, I was looking at the new MacBooks, and one of the big criticisms I had of the new MacBook was that it was about $1,500, $1,600, and for that $1,500 to $1,600, you get a machine that is a dual core. So, yeah, so let's just, actually, no, this is the adapter. So let's just go to apple.com and see what they've got available. Let's see. So we go Mac. We go MacBook Pro. This is so fucking sad, man. Oh, come on. There we go. Show me. My internet is going to shit. Come on, you can load. Okay, let's see. So if I wanted to get a 13-inch MacBook Pro, 13-inch model. Come on, show me specs. Show me specs and price. Let me go buy. Yeah, you get a dual-core i7 for $1,500, right? $1,500. So Lenovo over here says, wait a second, you're going to give dual core for $1,500 to $1,700? Hold my beer, man, because we're going to make you get a dual core for $1,899. I mean, can you believe this shit? Can you believe this fucking garbage? It's like they've literally beat Apple in giving you a shit deal. Look at this. Look at this. Even Apple, even fucking Apple will give you, oh my God. It's okay, yeah, here's an i5 and here it's an i7, but still, $1,899 for a workstation class machine. And you're giving me a U-class processor with no option to trade up? Because when I go to view models over here, this is the first thing that I noticed. You hit add to cart. And this, I don't see any customization going on here. Let's see, let me just see if, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will eat all of my words. Let's see. It says, we're preparing additional selections. It'll be worth the wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's see. Will they give me a quad-core option? Anyway, so this Lenovo's website looks like it's going to be a... here we go. So yeah, so you're... I can't choose shit. I can't select anything else. You can't select screen resolution. All they do is offer you subscriptions to word processors, which have been free with OpenOffice kind of stuff for the last 15, 20 years now. Yeah, so you cannot get you cannot get better specifications with this machine. Your $1,900 gets you a Ultrabook class processor. This website is annoying as hell. Get the fuck. And a GeForce 940 MX. Okay, now granted, you get a PCI Express SSD. That's nice. But the ThinkPad platform always used to be about choice. You can choose specs, you can build, you can configure it the way you want to configure it. That was, and that's gone. This is clearly just, this is Lenovo seeing the Retro as a fad. They don't think that they screwed up the keyboard layout. They don't think that they screwed up the trackpad layout. They don't think that they screwed any of this up because it's present in all of their new models. They're just making this one little model to hopefully shut everybody up that wants the ThinkPad Pro. And they think that this matters. You know, the colors on the palm rest. Like, look, they give you the old colors. And you can see over here, let's see if this is one part of the page that just made me particularly ill. Let's see if my control... It's find and page. Control F is not working for some reason. Let's see features. This. Here we go. The ThinkPad is the enemy of trendiness, design cliches, fleeting fashion, or competitive emulation. Instead, it's the embodiment of an original and authentic idea. Yes, somebody else's idea to try and sell me a dual core for $1,900. I use my laptop as a workstation. For example, if I want to do a live streaming video, sometimes I do live streaming video from multiple sources using my laptop. That's not something that I feel like doing on a dual core. It lowers the quality. See, professional use, professional laptop. I pay a professional price, and I'd like to be able to give it a professional configuration. The next, a lot of people were criticizing the aspect ratio. Now, Lenovo has said that, we can't get you the aspect ratio screen we used to have before. Nobody makes it. So here's what they gave you. Check this out. Check this out. So after 3 years of saying, we're sorry for ruining these machines, we're going to give you something that's more like what you want. After 3.5 years of producing shit, they came out with 1080 fucking p. Are you kidding? 1080p. 1080p. This is actually worse than Apple, because at least this is 16:9. Now a lot of people wanted 4.3 or 3.2 or something like that. Lenovo couldn't even do 16:10. Even Apple has a screen that is slightly closer to a square than the fucking Lenovo. They have the exact same 16:9 screen that they had before, and to boot, it is low resolution at 1899. Now you may say, Lewis, I don't understand why you're so pissed at this. More than 1080p in a 14-inch design is not reasonable. It's hard to see things. But if you look at a lot of my other videos, I'm very often working with schematics. I'm working with these board view files, these schematic files, these board drawings, where having high resolution makes it a lot easier to do my job. Now you may wonder, you may be saying something like, well, not everybody's doing that. Well, guess what? That's what people that buy ThinkPads do. This used to be the laptop of engineers. This machine was the chosen device of people that use them for engineering or CAD or programming, and they're the type of people that may want those type of configurations. You also may say, well, 4K would never make sense on a 14-inch screen, which then begs my question, why does this only come in 14-inch? Why don't I have an option for a 15-inch or a 17-inch or a 13-inch like you used to have with the T-series or any of the old series? You were never limited to only one model. And this is exactly what I predicted 2 years ago, that they would come out with one throwaway model, like they were throwing a bone to people that didn't want to move on. They promote the Retro as something that is for this very small niche of people that just can't, that don't want to be trendy, and they missed the point. It's not about trendiness. It's not about being a normie or anything like that, or fashion or design cliches. It's about fundamental usability. Now, there are a lot of people that have said, well, Lewis, you can't blame them for the fact that they're using this type of screen. You can't, because nobody makes 4:3 or 3:2 aspect ratio. You can't expect them to make a screen that nobody's making. That's too much. And this is where I have to give Apple credit. This is because Apple actually tries to innovate. Granted, they may fail. They may make some products that break really easy. They may make products that are overpriced. They may make products that are not liquid proof or drop proof when everybody else's is. And they may make products with a lot of flaws. But one thing I'll give it to Apple on is that they know how to innovate. If we look at the A1425 MacBook Pro, this came out in 2012. 2012. Let's look this up. Let's look up the specs. So this came out about 5 fucking years ago. And if we look at the specs of it, see if we can find resolution on the screen here. This machine was launched at about $1,299. And the screen resolution was, come on, scroll. Here we go. 2560 by 1600. 2560 by 1600. That was a very non-standard resolution. Nobody was producing laptops with 2560 by 1600 in a 13-inch design that cost $1,200 that you could get for like $11.99 or $10.49 with a coupon at Best Buy. 5.5 years ago, Apple was producing laptops that had non-standard resolutions, and admittedly, while this was an expensive laptop, for the screen resolution that you got and the quality of that screen, it was actually very affordable. Whereas Lenovo, 5.5 years after Apple releases the Retina, produces a machine that costs $500 to $600 more. Not only does it have a standard-ass screen that has been the same bullshit that we've been getting in laptops for the past 6 to 8 fucking years now, but they produce it at the standard aspect ratio and the standard resolution that the whole point of this laptop was to be getting around that. The entire point of the Retro is, let's go back to what made the ThinkPad great. Make the ThinkPad great again. And they put in the same screen that they gave everybody else. This piece of shit. You can get this piece of shit screen and a $700 laptop. This screen is a joke. And it's not, you don't even have an option. If I wanted to pay an extra $900 to get a higher resolution screen on this laptop, you can. If I wanted to pay an extra $2,000 to get a quad-core processor, I can't. If I wanted to pay an extra $1,000 to get a 15 or a 17-inch version of this, I can't, because there's no option. This is They've taken, and this is what I talk about when I say that companies do this thing now where they copy what made Apple shitty rather than what made Apple great. What made Apple great was some sense of innovation. Like, thank you, bought the Retro Thinkpad, selling it in 10 years. I don't think I think it's going to be worth $1 in 10 years, honestly. It's honest, for me, it's worth $1 now. But what Apple did is they innovated. They put a screen into a laptop that nobody else was making. And Apple didn't care. They told LG, they probably went to LG and said, we're going to sell a lot of this. We need you to make a screen with these specifications. I don't care that no other laptop manufacturer is using glued-in screens that are this thin. I don't care that no other laptop manufacturer is doing this. I don't care if there's no demands from anybody else. We're going to make this happen. We're going to buy this many units. We have this confidence in our product, and we are going to fucking sell it. That's what Apple did. And what did Lenovo do?
I don't think that we're going to sell them that, so let's just use the same screen everybody else does, just so that we don't get stuck in a contract that we may not be able to live up to, because nobody may want to buy it, so let's just use the same 14-inch 1080p anti-glare piece of shit everybody else does.
I mean, this is a joke. And $1,800, $1,899. I can't get over how bad this is. I can't get over how awful this is. I don't give a shit about the keyboard. I can't even record ProRes video with this pile of shit. Thank you to Electro Beagle. Let's see. Multicast here arts content with a dual-core processor. A dual-core processor. Oh, and like the fingerprint scanner. Whoa. Optional fingerprint reader. Holy shit. Tell me that you have to pay extra for the fingerprint reader. Tell me that you have to... I wouldn't be able to stop laughing if I saw that. Special packaging. Special edition logo. This is designed by a marketing team that has no idea why people like ThinkPads. Well, I'm not buying this thing for the fucking logo or the fucking packaging. That's why people buy Apple. People buy Apple because they like the packaging. I buy a Lenovo to take out my keyboard with my perfect track point, with a nice aspect ratio screen out of its junky cardboard box, throw the box away that I'm never going to keep, and then actually get to work and use it. But yeah, at least Apple makes some fucking effort to innovate. But here, there's no innovation. You're not innovating, but you're charging a bunch of money. You're not offering me any choices. So at least, Apple, there's no choices here. Like when I hit select, I can't change screen resolution. I can't. There's a lot that I can't change about this. This is, I can change the storage and the RAM and the processor maybe. Actually, check this out. Look, you can choose more with the fucking Apple than you can with that. At least you could choose the type of processor you get. But with Apple, you don't really get a lot of choices. The whole point of this was that you get choices. So essentially, we have the worst of Apple, which is no choices, insanely high price, shit specifications. But we get all the downsides of a standard PC, which is low resolution, shitty screen, no innovation, and I can't imagine people actually buying this. I sincerely hope nobody buys this. This machine was a middle finger to anybody who waited 3 years to see if Lenovo took their head out of their ass. So, with that being said, I'm going to read some of your comments and then cry into my morning cereal that I'm never getting a real Lenovo. Let's see, what do we have in your comments? Are you out of ideas? Well, I got a lot of students this month, so I can't really do videos while I have students. I had students 5 days of the week for almost the entire month, actually. Only truly woke people use Yahoo. I don't know. I have no loyalty to Google. I was so disappointed with the Retro. Me too. TCRS, yeah. You probably don't even remember what a real Lenovo was like. You may have not been around. It was at this point that Lenovo recommended Lewis a Surface-based machine. What the fuck is this? This is what the Lenovo Retro became. Yeah, it's a sad little joke. Thank you for what you're doing. Thanks for watching. If you watch an unboxing video, you can see that it comes with more useless stuff apart from the device itself. Dude, David Hill doesn't work on ThinkPads anymore, and yet they quoted them. Yeah, again, this could not... I sincerely doubt that this had a lot of his work on the ThinkPad, rather than the quote. I find it difficult to believe that he would put his name on this. How about the Asus Zenbook? I haven't tried an Asus Zenbook for a year and a half, but the last time I did was we replaced the power jacks on them regularly before we stopped because they were so easily broken. I don't have a lot of respect for the Zenbook based on what I saw the crappy power jacks on them. "14-inch with full HD is good enough. You want a schematic, get an external monitor, or letters will be small." Well, yeah, good point. But let's say, okay, so we have a forum here, right, where we answer questions, and every now and then I'll also answer questions on this forum. So might as well shill myself. Yeah, I'll shill my forum. So let's say I'm on a bus ride, and it's a 5-hour bus ride, and I want to answer some questions in the forum. How do I attach my external monitor? Let's say I'm on a plane and I want to answer some questions in the forum. I'm not going to attach my external monitor. The entire point of paying for that premium laptop is so I have a premium machine to do all those things on the go. Attaching an external monitor essentially makes that pointless. You know, it's not what we're going for here. We want a machine that we can actually use while we're on the go as a workstation. Given how long the designers and execs have walked alongside their ThinkPads, it is beyond me how they can miss their devoted customers' demands this badly. But yeah, it's pretty sad. We didn't ask for much and they still disappointed us. I honestly knew that it was going to be a disappointment the moment that they said they were announcing a Retro Thinkpad. If they had said, "We are sorry, we realize that the new designs that we have made have annoyed users," then that would have been an acknowledgement that what they had designed was a fail. And they would have, by admitting that we failed, we screwed up with this new design, let's go back to what made the ThinkPad great, that's listening to the users. But saying, okay, we heard everything you said, so we're going to make this other model so you all shut the fuck up while we still produce crap like all the idea pads and the ThinkPads with numpads and this delete home end insert fuckery. That tells me that they didn't really care, that they saw this as a nuisance rather than genuine customer feedback. So it was really from a philosophical standpoint that I realized that they were going to disappoint. And I knew when they said we're releasing a retro rather than retros. See, if they said we're releasing a bunch of we're releasing plural. Like, we're going to be releasing all these, all the retros are going to come out next year. That would mean that you had multiple choices. But when they said we're releasing a ThinkPad Retro, singular, that means that they're releasing one model for everybody, aka Apple, aka completely forgetting their user base or what the point is of buying their machine. Just look at that image that has IBMs behind the Retro. It just screams, it's just like an IBM. You like IBM, don't you? Buy our shit. Yeah, it's sad. That's gross. Oh, tell me, no, they couldn't have used IBM's logo. No. That would be sad if they used the original IBM logo on this pile of shit. Is there at least the RAM isn't soldered, or is it? That's a good question. I didn't see. I missed you too. Let's see, what else do we have here? It's a shitty product for hipsters who hear retro and ejaculate. Mr. Core is correct. No VGA on retro. No, I would pay big bucks to get it back. It's not retro if you remove the most useful for corporate users. All right, let's go through the ports, actually. Let's see how bad the ports are on this thing. All right, so it has a headphone jack. It has HDMI. It has Ethernet. It has USB-C. No display port, but you could probably use the display port adapter with USB-C. So this is actually worse than my P15. So I get 4 USB 3 jacks on my P50. I get one USB-C with a Thunderbolt 3. I get an HDMI, and I get a mini DisplayPort. And I get my SD card reader and Ethernet. So my P50 actually has better ports than this, and it costs $600 less. Lol. What a pile of shit. G absolutely hates this model, as G should. 1.9K when it has dual core, and the only kind of thing special is the PCI Express 512GB SSD. That doesn't even make it special. That's just what you expect when you get a cookie cutter dual core with a shitty screen for 1.9K. You gotta throw in a 512GB PCI Express SSD. What about an alternative Dell XPS? It's not. XPS it's like everything else, you know? It's like, you can't even, they're not even in the same league of comparison. You don't get a track point, a proper keyboard. You get a I wonder if you get a numpad on the XPS. Oh, I hate the numpad. I hate the numpad. It's a touchscreen. Oh yeah, that makes up for everything. I asked for a 4K touchscreen 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And they made a fucking 1080p touchscreen. I really wanted to like this product. I was going to buy it to review it and actually keep it. When I saw that was $1,800, I thought to myself, I'm going to buy this, knowing full well that the review video is going to make me $30. I'm still going to buy this just to review it. But this is not, no, this is not worth buying to open. If you do a retro of your previously good products, you're also admitting that your current range is crap. That's the thing. I don't think that that was what they were trying to admit. They're trying to say that our current range is good. You fuckers just don't have taste. So for you fuckers that don't have taste, we're going to have our marketing department make this special little thing to make you go away. Lame. Instead of hating on Apple, which I'm sure gets tons of views, why not review good products instead? I reviewed the Thinkpad P50. I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, it's not a classic Thinkpad, but it's not bad. Let's see. I did a review of that. I don't like getting a lot of views. I honestly like having a smaller audience, free of loonies. And let's see. So Thinkpad P50. And also, if you watch that video, you even get to figure out how spill-proof it is if you spill a bottle of water on it. Side. Wait, mine still works, except I don't have a fingerprint sensor. The left trackpad button doesn't work anymore. But other than that, it actually works pretty well, in spite of the liquid spill. Just the liquid spill destroyed the fingerprint sensor. Vladimir said go for IBM, counted people since Holocaust. That's kind of fucked up. Probably true. Probably true, but sad. The moment they said retro instead of classic, it is clear what their point of view is. They shit on the long-standing IBM customers. Yeah. Honestly, the moment that they said, they didn't say, we're sorry for producing this, we're never doing it again. They were shitting on all the old customers. The Retro Thinkpad is shit because it's for all of these stupid people that don't understand how, all the manipulative people who aren't aware of how stupid it is. Yep. They could have updated everything to use HDMI or DisplayPort and remove VGA cables, and most of the time they just don't work with the projectors they have. VGA equals guaranteed to work. And that's another thing that they don't understand about this machine is that ThinkPads are often used for corporate presentations. And, corporate presentation, rooms with these projectors, those projectors stay there until they're dead. So if that projector was purchased in 1997 and it still works, it's still going to be there. And having to carry dongles is the difference between being an Apple owner and a ThinkPad owner. So not having VGA on a laptop that they claim is retro, and not even at the very least giving you the dongle for free, that's just horseshit. $18.99, man. $18.99. Alright, time to get out of here. I've done my rant for the day. I've done my rant. So just do me a favor, do me a large favor, and don't buy this. Don't buy this. Don't give Lenovo money for this steaming pile of junk. And that's it for today. And yeah, I'm sorry everybody. I really thought this was going to be a fun video to do when I looked up the Retro a few days ago, but this thing just sucks. Thank you to Ghost of Price, and I am out of here.